Do you know about the sages of yore? After arduous penance for many years, they got but a glimpse of me for less than a minute. All the punya you or your ancestors might have acquired is rewarded in the first second of my darshan. The rest is all my compassion. The concept of darshan finds a special place in all ancient religious traditions. To have a direct vision of the deity is considered the highest of blessings. The devout trek treacherous paths, stand for hours in long lines, and wait patiently to receive darshan. The formless Absolute adorned the physical form of Sri Sathya Sai. He gifted the devotees with not just darshan, the holy sight. He also blessed them with sparshan, or the benediction through touch, and sambhashan, the blessing of conversation. The scriptures declare, darshanam papanashanam, sparshanam karma vimochanam, sambhashanam sankatanashanam. And here, the devotees did not have to wait in long lines to have his darshan. He himself would come walking as the devotees sat comfortably. In 1950, his 25th birthday, Bhagwan inaugurated the Prashantinilaya Mandir and institutionalized darshan, making it a daily blessing at least twice a day. In old Brindavan, Bhagwan's ashram in Bengaluru, darshan had a unique charm as he glided through an avenue created by rows of flame of the forest trees or under the canopy of a massive peepal tree. In the initial years, the Prashantinilaya Mandir was surrounded by trees like Brindavan. In later years, it had fine sands meticulously spread and flattened. The surreal setting of dawn or early evenings, Swami gliding through the golden sands, barely leaving his footprints, are precious memories cherished by every devotee of those years. With time, the sand was replaced by concrete. A roof was eventually erected, which became the grand Sai Kulwant Hall. The sylvan silence was replaced by lilting instrumental music announcing Swami's coming. In 2003, the music was replaced by Vedam chanting, opening up an opportunity for everyone to participate and soak in the divine vibrations. They came from all corners of the world, from all walks of life. Musicians, world leaders, youth, saints and sages, and devotees in their thousands. With the increase in numbers, the Prashantinilaya Mandir was expanded. The town of Puttaparthi grew. In fact, everything changed except the benediction of darshan, which remained constant for over 6 decades. What was a typical darshan session like? The devotional frenzy would start quite early as devotees would line up. In later years, when the numbers began increasing, Swami suggested that a system of random tokens be used. Multiple lines would be formed and numbers would be issued for each line. A lucky draw would decide the sequence in which the lines would be allowed for darshan. This was to ensure equality. For one could be a businessman from America, another a farmer from a nearby village, or a lady selling flowers, or an accomplished professor. All had just the equal chance of divine proximity. The token system created an added opportunity for intense prayers. But was it really chance? When a few youngsters had come for darshan, Swami walked up to them and said with a mischievous smile, "Take a paper and note down 4, 1, 3, 7, 8. The youngsters obeyed but looked at Swami perplexed. He then revealed in whispers, "Sit in these lines for the next few days. You will get the front row for darshan." Once seated, men on one side and women on the other, a deep meditative wait would begin. Eventually, the gentle music would indicate the beginning of darshan and Swami would gracefully emerge. Swami would invariably start the darshan with the ladies' side first. He would walk with the grace of the Divine Mother, gently holding the robe in one hand, raising the other palm in blessing, or making divine gestures. Sometimes he would bend to bless an infant or stretch to touch the head of an elderly lady. When among women, "I am a woman," he would say. His serene countenance would bloom into a bright smile, perhaps on seeing an old devotee. Taking a few brisk steps, he would ask, "Kab aaya? When did you come?" And that was enough to melt all the worries in the heart and silence all the queries in the mind. Each act, gesture, expression, and word would exude love, beauty, and blessings. Swami would then gently move towards the men's side. The feminine grace would now give way to an imposing manly gait. After all, as revealed by him, when among men, he is a man. The envelopes and sheets of paper that he carries in his hands are one of the most unique aspects of the Sri Sathya Sai avatar. These are prayers, expressions of gratitude, and devotional outpourings. Devotees would pen prayers in letters that they would hand over to him during darshan. The sight of Bhagwan holding these letters in one hand and walking is so divinely iconic that the idol that adorns the sanctum sanctorum of the Prashanti Mandir, which was unveiled by Bhagwan himself, has this very posture. Deities in temples are often depicted with weapons or flowers in hand. Swami, however, is depicted carrying the letters of devotees. For this is what he did every single day during darshans. Sometimes, as the letter was handed to Bhagwan, the devotee would break down, unburdened of the weight in the heart. Sometimes, Swami would reveal that he was aware of the contents even as he picked up the letter. With an all-knowing smile, he would walk past, holding letters in one hand and constantly blessing with the other. Whenever the need arose, the blessing hand would all of a sudden move in circles, catching deftly the pinch of vibhuti or sacred ash that would materialize. For the sick, he would lovingly pour the prasadam into the mouth. Sometimes he would lovingly smear it on the forehead or pour it into the outstretched hands. Incredible cures and remarkable miracles were a common occurrence during every darshan session. Bhagwan would walk towards the differently abled and grant them strength and solace, sometimes even curing them with a touch. Gradually, he would walk towards the students. His interactions with the students had an enchanting appeal. He would appreciate and encourage them like a mother, chide and correct them like a father, guide them like a guru, and listen to their concerns like a true friend. During darshans, many interesting events and activities would occur. As he would walk, Swami would permit devotees to touch his feet and bestow what is referred to as a pada namaskar. Sometimes it would be a simple gesture pointing to his feet, or a whisper, chesko, meaning you may do. At times, Swami would patiently walk amidst rows and rows of devotees or sevadals, granting pada namaskar, blessing japamalas and vibhuti packets, or pausing to bless a portrait of his by placing his signature on them. Photographs signed by Swami adorn the altars of many Sai mandirs and thousands of homes across the globe. The darshan experience was multi-dimensional, to say the least. It is impossible to fathom what it did to every soul sitting in the crowd. To a French Buddhist monk, Bhagwan gave the darshan of his guru, making his faith stronger. When a devotee was doing manasika puja or puja in the mind to Lord Venkateshwara, Bhagwan walked up to him and 2 tulsi leaves dipped in sandal paste appeared on Swami's lotus feet, just as offered by the devotee in his mind. A Westerner once said, "He is God because in my first encounter with him, he made me cry just by not looking in my direction." For the blessed ones, a nod of his head or a hand gesture would indicate to them to go into the mandir for a personal interview. During darshan, many important ceremonies would be performed too. Swami is seen here adorably cutting the first few locks of an infant, a ceremony followed in Indian families. He sometimes feeds a baby with a morsel of food, performing a ritual called annaprashana. Or he writes the pranava mantra on a slate or a book, initiating a child into education, an important event called aksharabhyasa. Another common sight during darshans was Swami blessing those celebrating their birthday, be it students or devotees. The joy he gave by throwing the sacred grains or toffees brought out the child in everyone as they clamored to catch that sweet blessing. Apart from the regular darshans, there were special darshans from the balcony of the Prashanti Mandir and the various mandirs which came up in different cities in India. Whenever Swami would go out in a car, devotees enjoyed what might be called a car darshan. Not only that, at times, Bhagwan would do the unimaginable act of compassion as seen here. The glorious darshans Swami gave from the various chariots during his birthdays, during several other festivals and events, was only to fill the devotees with ecstasy. no other avatar has walked on narrow parapet walls for the sake of his devotees. And then, giving darshan from a helicopter is definitely a new chapter in the leelas of an avatar. Bhakta Vatsala that he is, Swami gave darshans in different color robes suitable to different occasions. For Krishna Janmashtami, he might don a yellow robe akin to the Pitambara. For the convocation ceremony, a deep maroon robe. And for his birthday and Christmas, a white robe. The Jhula Darshan of Swami seated majestically in a white robe is forever etched in everyone's hearts. As he walked amongst the devout, he also walked right into their hearts. In the summer course of 2002, Swami himself described his style of walking.
Swami యొక్క నడక జెంటిల్ నడక.
Swami's style of walking is so gentle, so beautiful.
మృదుమధురమైనటువంటి నడక.
It's so soft and tender.
మృదువైనటువంటి నడక.
And so sweet and
రఫ్
tender.
గా పోయేటువంటిది కాదు.
So delicate, not rough.
ఆ రఫ్నెస్ నా దగ్గర లేనే లేదు.
There is no trace of roughness and
నాతో
softness in
అంతా
it.
సాఫ్ట్నెస్ స్వీట్నెస్.
Bhagavan is all softness and sweetness.
Elaborating on the significance of darshan, Bhagwan once cautioned the devotees thus. Always
Trovate sempre un angolo tranquillo dopo il mio darshan. La mia energia fluisce da me e passa a voi. Se vi mettete a parlare subito, l'energia ricevuta da voi sarà dissipata e tornerà a me inutilizzata. Siate certi che qualsiasi cosa i miei occhi vedono sarà vitalizzata e trasmutata. Cambierete giorno dopo giorno. Non sottovalutate mai ciò che viene realizzato dall'azione del darshan.
A testimony to this ethereal nature of darshans was the experience of Professor Frank Baranowski, a scientist studying human auras and an expert at Kirlian photography. When Bhagwan visited Vrindavan Ashram, he would grant a special darshan during Nagar Sankirtan. It was during one of these darshans that Professor Baranowski witnessed an incredible revelation. Divine love manifests as a pink aura. Professor Baranowski saw the pink aura from Bhagwan extending endlessly, beyond which he saw bands of gold and silver. This is not the aura of a human being, he declared. Later, when he was given the chance to speak to an audience in Bhagwan's presence, he elaborated on how he has met many holy men, but no one has made themselves as available to people as Bhagwan Baba has done. And he concluded by saying that he is exactly what he says he is, pure love. That in fact he is love walking on 2 feet. Swami would often say that after all the wait and hardships, when we finally reach the sanctum of a temple and behold the form of the deity, we close our eyes, because the ultimate purpose of darshan is to enable us to see the Lord within our hearts. Swami's darshan was a deeply meditative experience. A young devotee was once visualizing a particular pose of Swami. So lost was he that he didn't notice Swami coming before him. He opened his eyes only to see Swami in that very pose, swaying gently. With a beatific smile, the omniscient Lord said, "The Swami within and Swami outside are one and the same." Blessing another devotee practicing meditation during darshans, Swami said, "Close your eyes and meditate that Swami is everywhere. Open your eyes and see that Swami is everywhere. Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba is the very embodiment of supreme love. He came in a form that could be seen and touched, and thus created the unmatched experience of Sai Darshan. The Darshan experience is always divinely mystical. Even today, when thousands come and reverentially prostrate at the Sai Sannidhi, their hearts are inspired in his presence. They return lighter, brighter, more spiritually aware, and more in tune with the God within their hearts. What Bhagwan's presence does to those who come for darshan is beyond the comprehension of the senses or the mind. Come, let us contemplate on the beautiful form of our Lord and immerse ourselves in Sai Ananda.
Sai Sundara Sundara Sai Sundara Sundara Vyagrambara Dhara Hare Hari Hara Vyagrambara Dhara Hare Hari Hara Sai Sundara